Hello, and welcome back to Better Minecraft, the solo world. So this is the Fabric Edition. Now, last episode we kind of went through a massive dungeon. I didn't go all the way through it, but I did go through a huge portion of it. The dungeon itself is massive. I think it'll take me going through it quite a few different times to make sure I have everything. But for the most part, you got the gist of what I was going through in there. But either way, I have a bunch of plans set up. Last episode we did this. You guys didn't see the decoration portion of it, but I did go through and decorate all of this. I wanted this as kind of like a little bit of a pop-up farmer's market type of sort of thing. So that's what it's decorated to be. I think it's all really cute. Now, I have 4 houses. Can it? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That I've got to put in today. So that I can start ripping down all of those houses. Because this one itself has to come down. Because it's right in line with another one of my buildings. So I have got to start getting quite a few of these buildings up. So that we can actually have space for all of the villagers. And for them to actually have houses. Oh, and another villager stuck. I've noticed the villagers like to climb these. And once they get up there, they can't get back down. I've had to save this guy from it a few times. But yeah, I think we're going to start with this one. Which is going to be the beekeeper's house. I know currently right now the beekeeper stays in that building. And I think one of the chefs also stay in that building. So, hi. Yeah, your house is getting built today. In order to get them to start moving out, I want to start putting in more housing. Okay, now this building I already have, for the most part, figured out. There's going to be a door here to go out into the gardens. There's going to be a door here to come in from the main path. And same with this building, I already have the door already figured out. I've done a lot of planning with these buildings. I don't want the villagers getting caught in the back area here. So I do make them go around to get in here. And I am just going to make all of this stone and all of this stone. And probably all of this as well. Just so that the bees don't get stuck. Okay, bottom floor in place. I'm probably going to cut out me doing the floor because, well, the floor was a headache. I forgot that when I terraformed this area, I did not put in 2 layers of dirt. Because at the time, I was struggling on dirt for a bit, and I just forgot to come back and put it in that second layer later on. Typically, I do the 2 layers of dirt, but I just didn't have the items at the time. So I'm kind of suffering for that now. But we had the floor in. I decided to go with this rainbow eucalyptus because it kind of shares kind of the coloration of flowers. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense with this being a beekeeper's house. I want it to be bright. I want it to be colorful on the inside. The beds are going to be yellow. There's going to be a lot of bright colors in here. Even in the windows, it's still very bright. Even though I'm using these windows on every single house, it's a lot of stained glass and it's very pretty. Okay, and there we go. I do have some balconies on this building. I do plan on coming back in and putting a lot of flower boxes on this house. Again, kind of very sad that I can't get like a backed up version of this guy. But eventually the flowers and leaves are all going to make a complete drag over into this building, so it's fine. But there are 2 balconies on this building. On the inside, I kind of showed it off that I went with the rainbow eucalyptus on the inside. Because this entire place, I wanted it to feel very bright. And I wanted it to have a lot of balconies and things like that. Because it is the beekeeper's house. Now, in between episodes, I will come through and design these houses. I actually don't think I ever showed you guys that I have designed one of the houses in between episodes when I get really bored and I feel like just going through and designing areas. Oh, I need to bring some iron up here to you. I do go through and build out the houses. Now, this is one of the first ones I put in. So it isn't too heavily designed. I do eventually want to get some flowers in this big planter here. But there is like a table and a whole kitchen in here. I also designed the interior to the barn. Hey, big guy, you mind getting off of that for me? I did design the interior of this with some hay bales and some water for the creatures that are in here. Okay. Next step for today. Taking down this building. And also taking down this. Since I have some market stalls over there, this feels kind of out of place. And I'm also wanting to prep this area to actually become the dock. So, this is just kind of getting in the way. Okay, and there we go. And as the grass grows back, that building and those market stands will cease to exist. Okay, now I did have to turn up my render distance a little bit. So you may feel a bit of a stutter. But I wanted to be able to see the village from back here. And see kind of how it's going. Because I can see it from a top-down view anytime I want to. But this is where my actual base is going to be. So I wanted to see how it would look. What? There's just a random cat up here. Hold on. I got this. I'll quickly go back home. There we go. I now have a cat in the base. And yes, I picked it up. You will guard the soon-to-be base. Today, I actually came up here to clear a bit more space because I want to start getting plans going for my actual base. Because I've been kind of living out of the storage building for my village. Which, granted, is great. I'm doing a lot of work in the village. It's kind of a good thing I'm down there. But I do have plans to have my actual own base, so I've got to get down here and plan that. Okay, and there we go. A massive area we're working with now. I have built up both this cliffside and the area back here, which slowly dips off into a cave. So this area is going to continue to be like a work in progress because I'm thinking that that spot right there may be where I put my greenhouse because that looks like another elevated platform about the same height as this one. So I may end up terraforming that to be a greenhouse of sorts. But I do have a bunch of wool on me and I do want to get the major components of my base kind of figured out. I know on this area right here, I kind of want a tower. There we go. A nice big tower. Now, I do want the actual base to align with this. typically do this with a lot of my towers, just kind of have it in the back of the building. And I do want to have some, like, weird jut outs. Because this build is going to be the one that kind of tests me this time. I typically do this with a lot of my bigger bases, where I go with a theme and a design that's a little bit more tricky on me, so that I can feel like I'm being challenged when I'm doing it. Long, skinny, kind of works. Don't want this to come out nearly as far as that one. Okay, kind of a rough outline, I know. Let me go ahead and kind of put some, like, corners in and stuff like that, so you guys can kind of get a better idea as to the shape I'm going for. Okay. And there we go. Just kind of a rough shape. There you go. You guys can kind of see it from the overview. Now, this is going to have just one major middle section, which is going to stay. Most of these smaller sections, I typically keep at one story. This one in the back, I may make 2 stories just to give the back some more flair. But these front ones are probably going to remain 1 story, and this one right here is probably going to turn into a balcony for the 2nd story, so that the roof has a little bit more to play with. And then my towers, I typically do 3 stories up on the towers, just so I can encompass the roof and everything as well. There you go. Just a nice little swirly type of path. Going over here, this is not the final design, but it will be some sort of design, because I do want a little bit of a curve here, and then for it to wind back through. Now, I'm probably going to head back to my base. Now that I have this kind of figured out, I can go ahead and add in some landscaping to get a theme for the area. I think I know the exact type of trees I want to use. There we go. Bigger ones. And then, of course, I was going to dot in a few of these guys, because they're kind of everywhere in the village base. So, might as well have a few of them down here as well. You are not nearly as big as I need you to be. There we go. Now, eventually I am going to be putting lanterns and stuff over here to just kind of help with the area and stuff like that. Put that guy in there. But I felt like since these are named Witch Hazel, they kind of need to be in here. Not to mention the cool fluttering leaf design they have is great. That mixed with some of the spore blossoms I'll probably stick on these ancient oak ones will desperately help the area. For the time being, before I have a bunch of mobs spawn over here, we're going to do this. Like I said, I'm eventually going to get lanterns, but for the time being, I don't want mobs spawning over here and ruining everything. But that is going to kind of be it for this session. I'm kind of running out of time. I've been in here for like a few hours working on that house, and then terraforming over here, and then kind of figuring out some things to do. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!